We are ready for the new section. Welcome back again. And the new panel is about, of course, blockchain. And from Funverse Games, Tolga Öztürk and Okan Kavurga talking about Web3 fails. Does your brand really need this transition? Okay, please, we applaud. Nice.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
I did lots of things in this industry, and now we decided to shift our vision to the blockchain side because we believe in blockchain really well. To talk about more about the Funverse Games, what we are doing right now. Actually, maybe lots of people here saw our booth areas, both B2B and B2C side. We are developing a Battle Royale MOBA game to do mobile and the PC platforms right now. And you can also play our game in our booth area in the B2C side. And there are really big crowds in there right now. Maybe you should wait too much to play it. And also, we are developing another game. Right now, we are working on 2 different IP. The second project is about the football, actually. It's like a football manager, fantasy football game in Metaverse. And you can sell your players, your teams, your stadiums or facilities in our game as an NFT in our game. So, in short, that's it. We are working on this kind of project right now. We are also biggest believer in the crypto technology. We are also developing blockchain technologies in our company. We are not only a gaming company, but also a technology company which are working on blockchain technologies. We are working on and focusing to develop the blockchain as a service tools right now for the gaming companies to actually, that's it in short about Funverse Games.
Cool. I'll take it from here. So the main study that I wanted to focus on today is basically a failed brand moving into their transition into Web3, which is Gap, the clothing brand that we know of. So whenever I look at a project, there are a few questions that I usually ask, and I repeat it over and over again. Let's just pop the hood and see what's under it. Now, there are a few things to consider. So what was the goal of the brand? Like, what did they want to achieve? Did the outcome support that goal? And basically, since this is a failed panel at this moment, we are going to speak about what went wrong. And then we are just going to focus on what should be learned from this lesson. Now, as you can see, Gap wanted to integrate into Web3. They had their whole NFT collection, looking real cool, real slick. And basically they wanted to, and this is verbatim, just a quote, gamified digital experience celebrating creators and giving customers the unique opportunity to own a limited edition collective Gap hoodie. Now, there are a few words that I would like to underline there. One of them is unique opportunity and the limited edition, because they failed on delivering both of those promises. Were they ready for this transition? Definitely not. That's why we are speaking about them today. And did they really needed this? So when it comes to transitioning into Web3, I can definitely say that coming from an agency background, a lot of brands basically come up to their agencies and said, metaverse it up. Like, they didn't have no idea of it, they weren't ready for it, they just know the buzzword and they wanted to be a part of it. And unfortunately, Gap also jumped on this bandwagon. So how did it turn out? It was a total failure, and I'll definitely break down why did it fail. What were the ramifications? Basically, a public backlash. They basically shattered their Web3 brand image. Their Web2 brand image still is solid. If you take, mediocre hoodies as solid, yeah, sure, why not? And basically, did their outcome align with their goal? So definitely not. So let's just pop the hood and see what's under it. What went wrong? So, within its all like best intentions, they had like a decent system. So you had to collect 6 NFTs to begin with different rarities, and then just fuse them in. If you are, familiar with NFTs, you know that you could utilize NFTs, merge them together, and come up with like new, rarer forms of more valuable NFTs. And then out of those fused ones, there would be a qualification where you could get a physical product out of it. Now, especially thinking about a brand that is switching from Web 2 to Web 3 with physical backgrounds, implementing NFTs and then presenting a unique reward type physical good at the end of the funnel seems like a great idea if you could pull it off. So what went wrong? One of the biggest problems is that, by the way, I also participated in this NFT fuck all too. So basically I managed to purchase NFTs way too easily. And that's where I kind of started to be suspicious. So one of the things that they didn't control was the input of the funnel. They had infinite commons, whereas, if you see the funnel, it's supposed to go down, which it didn't. So at a certain point, they should have expected a backlash, because people wouldn't be able to fuse their commons into more rare NFTs. And that's the first step that they messed up. But they didn't stop there. The second thing is, when it comes to the fusing part, is that they didn't limit the number of NFTs per wallet. So basically, a few users with few bots and few snipers just grabbed all of the rare NFTs and then just run with it. Now, as a ramification of that, secondary markets were dominated by the snipers. Basically, a few guys just named their price at their will, and the other users, which also included myself as well, were just hung out to dry. We didn't have anything to do with the current NFTs that we are holding, so it wasn't the ideal process that we experienced. Now, moving on, they basically allowed exploits, but the worst part of it, they didn't have any community management. So no Discord, no nothing. People just complained on the official Gap Twitter page, and even that was not responsive. So, I mean, at a certain point, you kind of expect a response, even in the form like an automated AI-generated response saying that, we are trying to fix this, please calm down, we are on this issue. We didn't even get that. So that was a total failure.
Actually, if you are a big brand, you should consider about sniping bots, and you should interrupt their attacks, and you should talk with your community in the end of the day.
I mean, if this was coming from like a no-name brand, I would totally understand it. Like, they didn't have resources, they didn't have financial to back things up. But I mean, we are talking about Gap over here, like biggest distributor of one of the clothing brands that is available to us. So what kind of lessons can we derive from here? One of them is definitely check your economics. Like, I can just figure this out just due to the fact that I was super easy to obtain the NFTs. Like, it should be a bit more harder than that. That was the first red flag that I saw. The second thing is always be responsive. It's okay to fail, because when Web3 is concerned, there's definitely a lot of room for error, but if you're not responsive, if you're not owning up to your shit basically, then it won't be a decent exposure, and your Web3 brand image will shatter like a souffle right out of the oven. And the thing is, sweeping under the rug is basically the same as pulling the rug. So if you mess up, just confess to it and just, you know, try to make amends by any means necessary, whether it's an airdrop, whether it's a giveaway, you know, or just saying that we messed up, we weren't ready for this. That's totally fine, but total silence is basically rug pulling. So, but the biggest mistake is that if you're not ready to go into Web3, just don't. And with that, I'll leave it your, if any questions there are, if you have time for it, but no,
yes,
I think
we have time.
Oh, yeah,
cool.
okay.
So,
at the end of the day, I think the brands should ask themselves about this transition for their creating the valuation. So, at the first, maybe what can we give our customers as a service in Web3? If you have really good answer these questions, the next questions should be what are the differences in services between Web2 and Web3? If you can define a really clear answer to this question, and when your community, your customers are ready to this transition, you should go into it, I think. So Gap is a really big brand and they can handle it, but they don't know any fucking idea, I think, about it, because they couldn't manage any process of this kind of campaign, as I guess. Definitely. For example, Adidas, APH Club partnership is the amazing, I think, but it's not too much giving hype as I guess. What you are thinking about it?
Just thinking about the resources available to these players. I mean, everyone in the field is experiencing the same problems, like not coming up with enough of developers, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, when you're thinking about Adidas or Gap or any brand in that sort of a size in terms of both resources and like human capital, it shouldn't be at least that much difficult to find a decent blockchain advisor. Whereas, I mean, if we are talking about Funverse, we could even say that we have too many advisors on our brand, like limited resources compared to them.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I think that if you would like to invest in the blockchain technologies, you should not trust only a token price or NFTs
or a brand name.
Or brand name. You should invest in the technology based on, because technology is the main goal of for your company. So we are thinking about it, we should find new solutions in Web3 for your company. Especially gaming companies is one of the biggest advantages has in this industry. Hopefully we will get success.
Bridge those gaps.
Yeah, sure. I hope
I have a question for you, because you're right, because the tokenization and financial side is very important for the Turkish people, because we are very sensitive for the financial side. But it's not so easy for find the new solution on the Web3 side.
Yeah, right.
All brands, I mean. So how can we separate to I'm okay for the Web3 or not? How can I say the first step when you touch to you? Not I'm normally a company and I'm finding I'm okay or not. So how can I say yes, I can find a new way for Web3?
Yeah. I think
what do you think that?
Yeah, this transition is not realizing fast, because you should find the hybrid models, I think, between Web 2 and Web 3. in the first step of your company. After you learn, you got some know-how about it. After you know about your community more, because the community relation is really important here. What are they expecting about the Web3? Because nobody knows Web3 is what is this. So we should define really clearly define what it is and what the community are expecting. And after that, we should create new models through the community's opinion, etc.
Yes.
I mean, just to add a few more things to Tolga's points, I think one of the biggest questions a brand should ask is basically, do I need this? Like, for instance, if you're a brick and mortar store, mom and pop shop, if you will, do you really need to be in Web3? Like, no, just try to scale your operation and it will be fine. Or if you are going into it with creating no value for the end user whatsoever, if you are just in it to basically sell products with a different angle, again, just don't do it. Just focus on your e-commerce and it should be fine. When it comes to Web3, it's all about, you know, creating value, creating a new type of dialogue with your possible clients and, you know, including them into the conversation. If you are not ready to have that conversation yet, don't, because it's not going to work out for you.
So maybe we can touch the e-commerce and the blockchain side. Maybe we can talk each other our business first, and after again,
sure.
maybe we can go to the other step. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
everything.
much.
So we can applaud.